G'day, today we're having a quick look at the God 180, which is this one, and the God 180S, which is this one. We've got both in stock. Just going to quickly go over the differences between the two. Now, the God 180 I think was the second model that they brought out. They did have an original one, which was probably called the God 180 as well, but anyhow, this is version 2, and now they've brought out the 180S, but they're still doing this model as well. So it's a little bit confusing, but not really. Basically, the two differences, the differences between them is the God 180, you can go to 180 watts. The 180S, you can go to 220 watts. In my opinion, that's no difference at all, because nobody really uses them wattages, or not many people use them wattages, let's say. So it won't matter to the majority of vapors. The thing with these units, what we see is that they're not for, well, you can use them at high wattages, but the most of the general public will see them as a device that they use at normal wattages, say anywhere between 10 to 30, maybe 40. But because of they hold 3 batteries, which I'll show you in a sec, they will last for days on end. Now I've got one that I'm using. I've been using it for a few weeks. Now I've had it with 3 of our Sony VTC4s, which are 2100 mAh in there, and getting about 3 days out of them. I've also tried it with our EFS 3100s, and I'm getting very close to 5 days use between charges. So that's where we see them as a device. Now the other difference, the big difference I see between these two models is the 180S. It's got the USB charging feature, so you can charge it by USB cable, and in the kit it is supplied with a USB cable. So you don't have to take the batteries out to charge it. You can charge it by a USB cable. It does take a fair while, a good part of a day to charge 3 batteries, depending on what they are from flat, but it saves you having to take them out. The standard 180, as you can see, no charging cable. So if you're buying this model and you don't have a charger, you will need a charger, and really recommend at least one that's got 3 bays on it, because as you're about to see, they take 3 batteries. I'll just put them, we'll leave them there so you can see them. But I've got mine here that I've been using. It's got batteries in it. So as you can see, I've been using the 180S, and no, I haven't been using it at 220 watts. I've been using the Kanga sub tank on it, and running it at between 20 and 25 watts. So there's your 3 batteries, and they run in series. I mean, one up, one down, one up. They're clearly marked. Take one out with their plus, negative and positive, so you really can't muck that up. So that's that. Just quickly chuck these back in. I can find a hole. Just up there. In the kits you get, obviously you don't get the cable with that one because there's no use to you, because you can't charge it with a cable. You don't get batteries with either of them. You have to buy the batteries. You get a little screwdriver, you get a few spare screws. They do have a pretty cheap looking drip tip in there that colour matches whichever colour you buy. They do come in 5 colours: blue, obviously silver. They do come in a red, an orange, and also a black. Manual's also in there, and they do come in a nice case as well, like so. Obviously your manual, your screwdriver. There's the, it's just a cheap plastic drip tip there if you want it. Does come with a bit of wire as well if you want to build a coil of some description. No clear miser, you have to sort that out. They do run right down to 0.2 ohms, so they'll basically run anything. They are ego threaded as well as 510. This comes off, so you don't need to take it off, but you can take it off to run any particular device you like. So it will run anything. Do have a bit of a menu system on them. See, that's got no atomizer detected. It does have quite a nice screen. It's actually flickering a little bit there on camera, but I can tell you it's clear as a bell, very easy to read. Remaining battery life, coil ohmage, temperature of the unit, wattage, volts, and puff counter down there below. As you can see, I've had quite a few puffs on it, 4,521, and I've reset that once. So I have had a bit of experience with it. Menu is 3 clicks on this button, and you've got an overtime protection menu. That's just where you can set how long you can activate the button for at certain wattages. We'll go out of that. To scroll through the menus, you use your up and down power buttons. I'm actually in that. You can see there I'm changing the seconds. Put that back out to 10. And so you use these 2 buttons to scroll through your menus, and the power button to actually select it. So we've exited out of there. That's your puff info. You can reset the puff counter. Vapor setting, that is manual mode or auto mode. Auto mode, you can go in and set it up so it fires automatically. Bit of a gimmick. Don't really see a use for it myself, so I'm not going to go over it in the interest of keeping the video fairly short. Both menus are nearly identical. The only difference between the 180 and the 180S is this menu here. I'll show you that. I want to exit out of there, back into that menu. Is the screen setting. If we go into screen setting, with the 180, this is how long the screen stays active before it goes into sleep mode. With the 180S, maximum you can set it to is 10 minutes. With the standard model, you can set it to 99 minutes. That's the only difference between the menus. Besides that, they're exactly the same. If you want to run high wattages in standard mode, which it comes as default, you can only go up to 80 watts. To go up to 180 in this model, or 220, and it does depend on what sort of coil you're running, because it'll only let you go as high as what the ohm of the coil will allow. But if you want to run them high wattages above 80, you go into power settings, select it, and you need to go into super mode. Then it gives you a warning saying that you're going into high wattages, and that you should be using minimum 30 amp batteries. So there you go. If you're going above 80 watts, use the minimum 30 amp batteries. Generally most people wouldn't be using it for that, so you can just use any standard battery, 20 amp, 25. We do have 35 amp batteries here if you do want to go to that sort of wattage. And then you'll just go back to there. That's basically really it. Size, this is a sizable unit, as you can imagine, because it does hold 3 batteries. Just comparing it to the VTR, it is bigger, but it's not ginormously bigger. That being said, look, I've been using it for quite a while. Good unit for sitting at home on the couch. Not really portable. I found it hard to find a spot for it in the car, sort of thing. It does sit in your cup holders, but I usually have a drink in my cup holder, so you know, I found it good for sitting at the desk here at work, or sitting on the couch at home watching telly. And like I said, you can get with a decent set of batteries, you can get 5 days out of it. So it's sort of like a sit and forget, and it's got. This one does have the charger, so you could just whack it on the charger overnight, and I'd assume it'll just keep fully charged day after day. So that's the differences. The biggest difference, like I said, one has the charger, one doesn't. So you need a battery charger, and preferably a 3-bay one. With this one, you don't need the battery charger. Unless you want to take the batteries out to charge, which I tend to do because it does take a long time to charge the batteries, like nearly a full day, well, full day waking, like about 16 hours to charge all 3 batteries from flat using a USB cable. So yeah, if you've got your own charger and you're going to take it out, I'd recommend this model. It's cheaper, only by $20, but it's cheaper. And does everything this one does. If you want something that you want to be able to charge by USB cable, spend the extra $20 and grab this guy here, the 180S, or hell forbid you want to do 220 watts, you better buy this one as well. Can't see that happening though, but anyhow, there might be somebody out there. Anyhow, that's the video on the God 180 and 180S. Thanks for watching.